I've been talking about the importance of the gut for years now. In fact, it's a part of my own personal healing journey as well. I was having a lot of hormone issues, autoimmune type issues, and it was ultimately healing my gut, going gluten-free, that turned course and really got me to feeling better today in my 50s than I did in my 20s. I wanted the same for you. So let's talk about the essentials of a gut-friendly diet and how important the gut is for overall health. Now, first of all, we've talked about this before, but in Chinese medicine and Ayurvedic medicine, the gut is ground zero. That's where we begin when we're dealing with health. I could write a whole another book. This book was written in 2014, The Belly Fix, but really we could do it all over again and talk about how much more we've learned since even 2014 between the gut and the brain, the gut and inflammation, the gut and your hormones, your mood, overall energy. It's so important. Weight, how can I forget that one? So the gut is really ground zero for your health, and understanding how to care for it, how to nurture it, how to grow it, how to balance it is a life skill that everyone should be taught. And to be 100% honest, we are seeing gut issues in our children as young as our babies and going all the way through our seniors. So this is a video for everyone. All right, the essentials of good gut health, they really are based on a couple of foundational principles. Let's review those. Number one, you have an intact intestinal lining, meaning you don't have leaky gut. Remember, leaky gut is that phenomenon where the gut membranes start to wear away. You don't absorb your nutrients. I write a lot and speak a lot about leaky gut. Check out this video right here. Number two, you have a balanced microbiome. Remember, again, all the different bacteria floating around in the belly, doing the work they're supposed to do. There's really somebody for every system of the body. But when the gut goes astray or askew, then we know the gut bacteria follow and we have all kinds of issues, including inflammation, that take place within us. So having a healthy gut microbiome is principle number two. Principle number three is being able to digest, right? Having the right amount of digestive enzymes on board. One of the patterns that we've seen in practice over and over again is this idea around fat malabsorption, where you're not able to break fats down effectively, and that in turn leads to all kinds of issues, or you're not breaking protein or starches down. So digestive enzymes are critical. They're produced from the pancreas. It's considered a part of the overall gut system. All right, last but certainly not least is understanding how things are moving through the gut. Do you have good gut motility? Meaning, when you eat, do things move through? All the nutrients get absorbed and they exit the way they're supposed to exit. Many people I meet have an issue with one of those four pillars and they need help balancing. We're going to talk a little bit today about what you can do using food to balance your gut health. All right, let's dive right into it. So we talked a little bit about leaky gut. One of the principles around leaky gut, again, is that gut lining is not where it needs to be. I love using collagen or bone broth to seal that leaky gut, but more importantly, if you want to repair leaky gut, it's a lot about taking the bad guys away. And I hate this. I know you are rolling your eyes and you're tired of hearing this, but persistent use of things like fast food, processed food, high sugar, high alcohol, packaged foods, too much gluten, too much dairy, too much animal meat, all of these things really impact the gut lining. Further, the more sort of outside or processed foods you get in your diet, you're getting a higher load of toxins. And here's what we know. We know that the derivatives of pesticides or the toxins in our environment are a part of why we have today an epidemic of leaky gut. So cleaning your diet is really the first step. And in this book and a lot of my books, I talk about how you can systematically do that by really having a fridge that works for you and a pantry that works for you, so you're not having to think all the time about what you're supposed to do. All right, that's the first part of this conversation. But moving on from there, we want to get into what else we can do to balance the gut microbiome. The microbiome is very dependent on the diversity of your diet. So if you're one of those people, I was too, that had the same breakfast, the same lunch, the same dinner 5 days out of the week, you're not getting microbial diversity. You're not getting a range of foods that come in and really support having the bacteria to do all the different jobs that need to be done. In the olden days, we ate seasonally, right? We had soil that was sort of cultivated to grow different crops at a different time. So we naturally got biodiversity. Today, we eat food that's coming in from everywhere. So we can have anything at any time. So we're not getting that range of bacteria that we need. The first rule of building a healthy microbiome is building microbial diversity through variation of your food. So have fun. Go to the grocery store, play with a new fruit or a new vegetable or something different. Try a new recipe, maybe just once a week. It doesn't have to be every day. And that way you're finding new tastes, new textures, new things to bring into your palate. And if you do this younger and younger, and even with your children, then they too will have an adventurous palate rather than a chicken nugget french fry palate, which don't get me started on that. All right, moving on though, what can you bring in? So I like bringing in, for that idea of microbial diversity, bringing in some of these fermented foods, right? Foods rich in probiotics. So those include things like kefir and yogurt. Sauerkraut is another great one. Kimchi is another one. These are foods that really do help introduce and help the rest of the bacteria diversify. Another one are your prebiotics. So artichoke or even garlic are great prebiotic foods. Bananas are another one that really help to feed the probiotics so that your microbial diversity can grow on its own. So you have two strategies: increase your prebiotics, increase your probiotics, do it through food, do it through variation of food, and then you're not having to think about it too much. My favorite prebiotic foods, again, garlic, artichokes, banana. Those are some of the best ones. Chicory root is another one. My favorite probiotic foods: yogurt, bone broth, sauerkraut, kimchi, and kefir. And I talk about a lot of that in the Belly Fix. Okay, we got through the first two principles. Let's move into the next two. The next two that we need to be thinking about is that idea of digestive enzymes, right? Do we have enough? Are we digesting things well? Are we breaking it down very well? One of the best ways to improve your ability to digest is to bring in different herbs or bitters with your meals that aid in digestion. So ginger is a great one. Artichoke, again, is considered one. The somebody lemon is another good one. And even garlic sometimes adds as a digestive aid, helping to break things down along the way. Now, the pairing of digestive enzymes with the right amount of fiber is another strategy for healthy gut function. And fiber is doing two things. It's helping with digestion and improving the body's capacity to produce digestive enzymes, but it's also helping with that other pillar, motility, that we talked about, right? So you can get fiber in lots of different ways. You can get it definitely from a lot of plant-based foods, from your vegetables and fruits. Here I have kale and spinach, which are two great examples. You can get it through beans and lentils. They also have fiber in it. And we know oats are a great source of fiber. In fact, we know that taking in a little bit of oatmeal every day does help with soluble and insoluble fiber, moving things right through the gut. So these are some of the great sources of fiber. So that covers the four key principles of digestive health. But I can't leave this gut conversation without talking about one more thing. And that's the importance of healthy fats. So everything from avocados, which have your MCTs or your medium chain triglycerides, to getting in foods with a lot of omega-3 fats and a lot of omega-9 fats, that works with fiber, with digestive enzymes to break all this healthy food that I know you're going to eat down, move it through the body so that it then gets packaged out to where it needs to go so you have healthy gut function. Now, if this entire pathway, if any of those four pillars are disrupted, then we have inflammation, we have higher blood sugars, we have higher histamine levels, and we have a ton of hormone imbalances. So the gut is still ground zero, even thousands of years later. If you're lost and not sure where to begin the conversation on starting your health journey or your wellness journey, it always begins with the gut. I post lots of videos about gut health. Check out some of them right here. And I post new videos every week. Don't forget to like and subscribe.